Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like the video for more videos like this. Bundy's Curse. It was an unassuming house on Elm Street, and the neighborhood had just acquired a new resident. The man who moved in introduced himself as Mr. Bundy. He was polite and charming, but there was something unsettling about him that the neighbors couldn't quite put their finger on. Mr. Bundy kept to himself, rarely seen outside his home. He wore a perpetual smile, but there was a darkness in his eyes that gave everyone the creeps. As weeks turned into months, rumors began to circulate about strange occurrences happening at his house. Late at night, the neighbors would hear eerie sounds emanating from Mr. Bundy's home. Whispers and cries that sent shivers down their spines. They chalked it up to a vivid imagination or just creaky old houses. One by one, the neighbors began to vanish. First, it was the Johnson's daughter, then the Miller's dog, and finally, the elderly couple who lived next door. No one knew where they went, and the police were baffled. One evening, a curious teenager named Sarah decided to investigate. She snuck into Mr. Bundy's backyard, looking for answers. She discovered a trapdoor leading to the basement. Her flashlight revealed a room filled with peculiar symbols and ancient books, but she didn't have time to explore further. Sarah's curiosity got the better of her, and she returned to the basement the following night. She never returned. Her parents reported her missing, and the entire neighborhood was now consumed by fear. Detective Turner was assigned to the case, and he quickly became engrossed in the mystery. He decided to pay Mr. Bundy a visit, hoping for a lead. As Detective Turner questioned Mr. Bundy, he couldn't help but feel as though he was being watched. Bundy's smile never wavered, but the detective was certain that he was hiding something. Detective Turner's investigation led him to an abandoned house in the woods behind Bundy's residence. Inside, he discovered a shrine of sorts, adorned with photographs of the missing neighbors and symbols he couldn't comprehend. The detective began to piece together a horrifying truth. Mr. Bundy was practicing dark rituals, using his neighbors in some unspeakable manner. He felt an urgency to stop him, but he was running out of time. Detective Turner returned to Bundy's house, determined to confront him. He found Bundy in the basement, performing a ritual that would give him unimaginable power. A fierce battle ensued, and during the struggle, Bundy completed the ritual. The earth shook, and a malevolent force was unleashed upon the world. With a final, desperate lunge, Detective Turner managed to overpower Bundy, ending the ritual. But the victory came at a great cost. The force that had been released still lingered, seeking a new host. The nightmare was far from over. Bundy was apprehended, but the curse he had unleashed continued to torment the town, possessing innocent souls and causing chaos. The once quiet neighborhood of Elm Street became a place of horror, haunted by the malevolent force that Bundy had set free. Detective Turner, now scarred by the experience, knew that the town would never be the same again. The curse of Mr. Bundy would continue to haunt them, a terrifying legacy of darkness and despair. As Detective Turner apprehended Mr. Bundy, the malevolent force he had inadvertently unleashed still lurked in the shadows, casting a chilling pall over the town. It was no longer limited to the neighborhood, it was spreading, infecting the entire town like a relentless plague. The town was in chaos, with reports of ghostly apparitions, poltergeist activity, and inexplicable phenomena on the rise. A team of paranormal investigators was called in to assess the situation. They concluded that the malevolent force had grown stronger and more vengeful. The investigators, with their knowledge of the supernatural, believed there was only one way to stop the malevolent force from consuming the town entirely. They needed to track down Bundy's dark grimoire, the source of his power, and find a way to reverse the curse. The team embarked on a perilous journey, starting with the old, abandoned house in the woods that Detective Turner had discovered. They combed through the darkened rooms, searching for clues that would lead them to the forbidden knowledge. Hidden beneath a floorboard, they found the grimoire that contained the sinister incantations Bundy had used. It was filled with eldritch symbols and cryptic texts, far beyond their comprehension. With the grimoire in their possession, the investigators began to decipher its contents, struggling to understand the dark rituals Bundy had performed. The malevolent force grew stronger, causing more deaths and nightmares. They knew they had to act quickly. The investigators uncovered a ritual that could potentially undo the curse. It was complex and perilous, requiring the cooperation of a pure soul to reverse the malevolent force's grip on the town. One of the investigators, Jenny, selflessly volunteered to be the pure soul needed for the ritual. She believed it was the only way to save the town. The ritual was performed in the same basement where Bundy had unleashed the curse. As they chanted the incantations, a great darkness enveloped Jenny, and the malevolent force writhed in agony. As the ritual reached its climax, the malevolent force was temporarily subdued. The town, which had been plagued by terror, experienced a moment of calm, and the paranormal occurrences ceased. It seemed like the curse had been broken. However, the peace was short-lived. The malevolent force was far from defeated. It returned with a vengeance, lashing out with even greater ferocity. The investigators realized that their efforts had merely delayed the inevitable. The investigators sought out Detective Turner, who was now an expert on the curse's history. They formed an alliance to confront the malevolent force once and for all, determined to put an end to the never-ending nightmare. Armed with knowledge and the grimoire, the group descended into the basement of Bundy's mansion, where the malevolent force was at its strongest. In a final, cataclysmic battle, they unleashed the ritual with the grimoire, seeking to destroy the malevolent force once and for all. The ritual took an immense toll on the grimoire itself, causing it to crumble to dust as the malevolent force writhed in agony. The mansion collapsed into ruin, and the malevolent force was finally banished from the town. The town of Elm Street was forever changed by the horrors it had endured. While the malevolent force was vanquished, the legacy of terror and darkness would never be forgotten. Detective Turner and the investigators knew that they had averted a catastrophe, but the scars would linger for generations to come. The curse of Mr. Bundy had left an indelible mark on the town, and even though the malevolent force had been defeated, the horrors it had unleashed continued to haunt the residents. The chilling presence of Bundy and his malevolence had become a part of the town's dark history, a nightmare that would be told in hushed whispers for years to come.